Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another TMDSAS office hour. My name is Sulema, and I will be here with you guys to answer any questions that y'all may have. This office hour will be a live Q&A session, just sharing with you guys a couple of announcements that we have, and as well as just opening the floor for anyone who has any questions and would like for me to go ahead and help you guys address those. So I'll go ahead and get started with the first. We have one, two, five announcement notes to share with you guys. So I did want to mention that I want save the date for the first virtual first generation student seminar that we have coming up Wednesday, July 13th from 6 to 7 p.m. So stay tuned for more information about that on our Team DSCS website, our social media, and as well as the office hours as well in the leading days coming up before the virtual session. I also wanted to mention that we do have the new Utrgv School of Medicine, School of Podiatric Medicine. And if you're interested in applying to that school, either for EY 2022 or EY 2023, we do have information and a link that you can go to and just follow the instructions on how to add the school. So I'll go ahead and enter that information in the chat for you guys. We also have another school that will be joining Team DCS. It's not available just yet on EY 2023 applications. However, when UT Tyler School of Medicine does come on board and receive their accreditation, Team DCS will be reaching out to all EY 2023 applicants with instructions on how to add the school, even if you've already submitted your application. So if you're interested in applying to UT Tyler School of Medicine this cycle, just be on the lookout for more information coming your way in your email inboxes, as well as the announcements that we have on the TMDSAS application portal. And just another note about letters of evaluation. It's very popular right now to be receiving questions about Interfolio. So I did want to mention that for those of you who are using the Interfolio service, just an FYI, Interfolio does push back your submission date if you make multiple deliveries. So let's say that you make a delivery on June 2nd and then you make another one on June 14th. Interfolio pushes back your submission date to the most recent date. So your new submission date will be June 14th, and that is the day that our queue will have your letter submission submitted on that day. And speaking of letters, I did want to remind everyone about the processing times for letters. Letters of evaluation typically will take about 10 business days, a little bit longer during this time because we are in the peak of the season. It is very popular right now for applicants to be submitting their letters and applications because they want to submit this early. So May through July is when you can expect to have higher processing times. So if you have seen that it's taken more than 10 business days to receive your letters or go through those and mark them as received and approved, just know that it is very normal at this point in the cycle. We have a lot of letters coming in and a lot of applicants also applying who are submitting those as well. So it is very normal for that to happen. You can take a look at the tmdsas.com homepage to see the date that our team is currently processing letters of evaluation submitted on a specific date to give you an idea of when you can expect to hear back on your letters. And finally, just a quick note about transcripts. So transcripts are not needed at all unless you fall under um, applying as an early decision program applicant, or you are applying through JAMP, or academic fresh start. So those are the only exceptions to the rule. However, for anyone else applying, only send transcripts when requested to do so by Team DSAS. So the transcripts are not required for processing or transmitting your applications. They're not needed for you to submit. And they also are not required in order for you to start receiving those interview invitations that will be coming up later in August. So don't worry about transcripts just yet. Once the schools let us know that you have been accepted, if you're a medical or dental applicant, or in case of veterinary applicants, once you have been interviewed, at that point, Team DSAS will reach out to you via email. They will send you an automated email to you from info@tmdsas.com with information and instructions on sending in your transcripts. So in the meantime, save time, save your money, and don't worry about sending those in just yet because we don't need them at this time. In fact, if you send them in now, we won't actually not keep those on file, and we wouldn't be able to confirm the receipt of those transcripts since they're not needed at this time. So again, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we'll go ahead and just address those questions as they come in. Okay, so we have one question. Any suggestions on compressing photos to fit Team DSA's maximum requirements? I believe you might be able to find some information on Google. Perhaps there's a program or a free software service that you can use to compress those photos to fit within the 100 KB parameter size or size that is needed for your photo. I believe even on maybe Paint or whenever you click preview when you're viewing your photo, you might be able to compress or decrease the size of your photo as well. Okay, let's see. A residency question. I can do my best with that. I'm not a residency expert, but other than the two options that you can go through to establish Texas residency. I might not be able to provide detailed information, but if it's a general residency question, I can probably take a stab at that. When printing my application, I saw a hidden question that I didn't fill out and was wondering why it wasn't an option for me to answer. Okay, um, I think this might be in regards to the proof of residency page, perhaps. So send us a message and we can have a teammate take a closer look at that in your application since whenever you send a message, it is connected to your application, and we'll be able to take a closer look at that for you. So just let us know in your message what specifically you're seeing on the PDF file of your application, and then we can go into your application and take a look at that with you. Okay. And next question is, could you clarify when secondaries are given to applicants? In other words, do they have to wait until their primary application is processed by TMDSAS? Yes, so the schools do have to receive your primary application. So once you submit your application, it'll take up to about 4 weeks for your application to process and then be sent to the schools. So then at that point, the schools receive your application and then they will be in contact with you regarding secondaries. So some schools will go ahead and have a portal ready for you to fill out the secondary as soon as you are ready and whenever you have submitted your application. Others will wait until they receive your application to send you a secondary application invite. So, what I can do is share with you guys the link to the secondary application information that we have. It's limited on just letting you know what schools will send you an invite, in which we'll go ahead and have a portal ready for you to fill that out. Secondaries are not managed by TMDSAS. We only manage the TMDSAS primary application. So if you had any further questions about secondaries, you will want to get in contact with your schools just to confirm any information that you may need from them regarding accessing those applications. We'll also go ahead and share the general page for next steps after submitting. That way you can take a look at this and kind of perhaps use it as a checklist to see what else you need to be on the lookout once you have submitted your applications to make sure that you're not missing any components or anything else that may be needed from you. So part of those steps is to take a look at your PCR, which has a note about what that is and what to look out for in the PCR document. Changes that are approved whenever you submit your application, only a few sections of your application can be changed or updated, as well as information about secondaries, Casper, and if you're a medical applicant, there's information about the TMDSAS match. Okay, and speaking of the PCR, if I'm not mistaken, the next office hour, which we will not have an office hour next week because it is 4th of July weekend and we are closed for 4th of July. So the next Monday, when we host another office hour, will be Monday, July 11th at the same time, 1 p.m. And I'm almost positive the topic will be covering information about the PCR. So if you're interested in learning more about what that is and how useful that tool can be to help you ensure that all your prerequisites are met and that you clear any deficiencies within a timely manner, definitely check that out and join us on Monday, July 11th at 1 p.m. to go over information about the PCR. Okay, so the following question was if a parent slash legal guardian married to a person who could answer yes to any of the previous questions. Okay, I don't have the application in front of me, so unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to necessarily see where that's at. But go ahead and send us a message in your TMDSAS application portal. That way, we can have a team member take a look at that for you and see the specific sequence of those questions to be able to address this for you. And if you're unable to go to your TMDSAS application portal or not sure how to access your messaging system, we do have information in the after submitting next steps after submitting page link that I just shared. So take a look at that if you are unsure how to send a message to us. But that would be the best way to communicate with us, and that way we can take a look at your application and see where you're at. All right, so we'll stick around for however long we need to address questions. So if you do have questions, go ahead and enter those into the chat. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever it is that you're watching us, let us know if you have any questions. This is a great time to get your questions answered live. If we don't know, well, if I'm not sure about an answer or a question, then I can follow up with you and let you know where to ask so that way we can follow up with you and ensure that that question gets answered. Another resource or another page that I wanted to share with you guys is the contact page. So we do have about, if I'm not mistaken, it's 20 member institutions that we have. Yes, it's 20 TMDCS member institutions that we have. So when there's times whenever we need you to go ahead and contact the schools. For example, if you had questions about secondaries, there are a lot of institutions, so you might not be able to reach out to them or find their correct contact information. But this contact page that we have on the TMDSCS website does provide some information on the dental schools, medical schools, the new podiatry school, and veterinary schools, and their preferred contact methods and how to reach out to them. So, if you have questions at any time for the schools, take a look at this contact page because it has their information where you can get a hold of them. And one more page that I can think of right now is to let you guys know if you're not aware, or just let your evaluators know that there is a help page for them specifically for evaluators. And it is located on the official Team DSAS website. So I'll share the page with you guys. And this page just has a brief overview of the requirements for letters of evaluation, instructions on how to upload those, um, and frequently asked questions are also listed on that page as well, including if they need help with accessing their accounts, accessing or viewing your name in their portal, or perhaps if a letter was rejected, what steps to follow after that, and then how to get in contact with us. So definitely help this, definitely share this with your evaluators and let them know that there is a help page available to them if they have any questions. And of course, they can always get in contact with info@tmdsas.com, where we can help them as well in there. Okay, so this question is, do you know if UT Tyler School of Medicine has already received their accreditation? Does the June 2020 timeline you have on your site still hold up? Thanks. So we're still waiting on them to get back to us with their accreditation. It should be coming in the next coming days or so. But once they are fully on board on our application, we will contact all EY 2023 applicants with instructions on how to add the school to the application, even if you've already submitted. So just be on the lookout for your inbox, our announcements in the Team DCS application portal where you access your application is also a great spot to take a look at information and news that are related to you. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. They should be coming on board shortly. We just unfortunately don't have a specific date just yet. So just be on the lookout for the announcement page in your Team DCS application portal, your email inbox, because you will be receiving an email from Team DCS once you can add the school to your application, our website, and social media platforms as well. All right, and then another type of question that we get at TMDSA support is regarding HP packets. So HP packets is another option that you can use to submit your letters. So whenever you are working on your application, you have two options. You can either submit three individual letters of evaluation, meaning your evaluators will have to submit those letters for you on their end, or you can use an HP packet option. So HP packets are typically submitted by your advisors or your pre-health advising office from your main institution. They have their own portal. They need to have their own account to access the portal in order to submit your letters for you. So your packet in this case. More information about HP packets, what they typically look like. We don't have specific requirements for HP packets. We leave it up to the schools to make that determination. Every school is different. Either they have one single letter or multiple letters in a packet. But we do leave it up to the schools to make that determination. Whatever is better suited to benefit you as the applicant is more than welcome. So you can find this information in the page that I will share in just a moment. I highly recommend that y'all take a look at that with your advisor. One thing to note with HP packets is, unlike with the individual letters of evaluation, whenever you enter your evaluator's information and email address, our system would send them an automated email with instructions and a link to the evaluator portal. However, that doesn't occur with HP packets. So whenever you indicate that you will have an HP packet submitted on your behalf from your specific institution, you will have to contact your advising office. We don't send out automated emails to advisors. All you have to do is just complete the page and then be in contact with your advising office. Let them know that you are ready to receive the HP packet from them. So that way they can go into their advising or advisor portal, find your name and update or upload the packet for you. Um, if they don't have access to the advisor portal or they don't have that account, they can get in contact with us by sending an email to letmein at tmdsas.com. We'll walk them through the process and then we'll get in touch with them to create those accounts with them. Typically, the HP packets are also subjected to our processing times. So often those are uploaded via direct upload. So in your application on your status page, you might see received. That just means that we did receive it. However, it still needs to process. So it'll take the 7 to 10 business days or a little bit longer, just depending on the volume of letters that we received on that specific submission date. So just know that take a closer look at the received date. If it says received and approved, that means that it has already gone through the process and it was approved and will show up on your school's end. So any applications that have been transmitted to the schools, those schools will already have access to your HP packets. Okay, so will an application for an academic fresh start applicant show all universities attended, even if attendance was over 10 years ago, or would it still list the university but not include any grades? So if you are applying as an academic fresh start applicant, you will need to enter all your coursework. So every course you took from every institution that you attended will have to be listed on your application. Whenever you finish that section, you can start sending in your transcripts. So again, academic fresh start applicants are the exception to the rule that we have about transcripts. So you can go ahead and send those in to TMDSAS. Our team, once your application is submitted and in processing, our team will review those transcripts and look for the academic fresh start designation, indicating that you are a fresh start applicant, and they will remove all eligible coursework as needed. So in your application, what you might end up seeing is the schools that you attended under your colleges attended section and the terms. However, you might see no courses listed under that. And that's because those were removed because you were eligible for that with the academic fresh start provision. If you have any questions about that, you can also about the process itself of obtaining academic fresh start. You can take a look at the College for Texans, I believe, website. But let me go ahead and get that link and I can share it with you all. So this page tells you what academic fresh start is, and you will have to get in contact with an undergrad institution where you want to invoke that. So we don't, at TMDSAS, we don't grant academic fresh start provisions. We just acknowledge them if we see them on a transcript. So if you have questions about academic fresh start, take a look at this website and get in contact with your undergrad institution where you plan to invoke it. All right, so we'll stick around for just a few more minutes, but let us know if y'all need any questions answered or any additional information that I can um, get for you guys, either a link or more resources. Let us know so that way we can provide those for you guys. And just one more resource that I thought of with letters of evaluation, there is an article that explains what the uh, process looks like on our end when processing your letters of evaluation on the TMDSAS side. So I'll go ahead and share that with you all. What is cool about this particular article is that it does have some tips for you to not get your letter rejected and to have those processed faster. So one of the many reasons that could cause a delay on application processing is letter rejection. So, when in processing letters of evaluation, our team has to verify that all letter requirements are on your letters. These rules have been established by the schools, all our Team DSCS member institutions, as requirements that have to be physically on the letter of evaluation that the admissions committees will be reviewing. So, in order to ensure that your schools do accept your letters, our team reviews all letters submitted to ensure that they all have those five-letter requirement components. Um, so if we have a lot of letters that are being submitted and missing any of those components, it does delay processing times. Our team does have to reject it, get in contact with you and your evaluator to let you know why it was rejected. On top of that, just the back and forth, like for example, getting in contact with us, getting in contact with your evaluator, and just resolving that issue can cause delays, and overall just cause a delay for everyone on their letters of evaluation. Um, so this article does provide some, again, details and information on what processing looks like on our end when processing letters of evaluation, as well as the tips and tricks to ensuring that you know this information and know how not to get your letter rejected. So, highly recommend that you take a look at the article. It's very helpful. It has some information. This article was written by our processing team of letters of evaluation. Our team provided this for us last cycle, and the information is still useful and helpful today. So, take a look at that if you have any questions. We also are aware that updates are going to be happening with your application shortly once the summer semester is over or summer term is over. You will be able to update grades as you start registering for classes in the fall. That information might update as well. So just for more information on how updates are sent to the schools, I will go ahead and share this article with you guys because whenever you update information on your application, you won't necessarily be resubmitting. It's not going to delay your application in any way. Anytime any information is updated on the application itself, and if your schools already have that application, they will receive these notifications readily available to them to download on their end. All right, I'll go ahead and give it just a few more minutes. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask those in the chat. Just a reminder, you can always reach out to us via the instant messaging system in your application portal. So whenever you go to your Team DCS application portal where your application is, at the top right-hand corner, you'll see your name, your Team DCS ID number, and your inbox. And it'll say send a message to Team DCS. That is the best way to communicate with us regarding your application, any changes, questions. That is the best way to get in contact with Team DCS support. We do have access to your application and can very quickly be able to access that and follow along with you in your application as you're working on it or look at something specific within your application. But if there are no other questions at this time, we'll go ahead and end these session early. Again, you can always join us for the next Team DCS office hour on Monday, July 11th at 1 p.m. Same channels that you are watching us from. and we'll be talking about the PCR and what that implies and what to look out for in the PCR. So we'll go ahead and end the session now. I thank you guys for sending in those questions. I hope you guys have a lovely Monday and a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.